Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Trails Beyond the Horizon, part 61. No matter how far I run, that horizon just stays the same distance. Come on, it wasn't that unfunny. No, I mean it wasn't funny. It's not really something you'd laugh at, but it's like, it's one of those things you could observe and be like, I recognize there was an attempted humor. I'm not going to recognize it with laughter or anything being snorted from my nose. No puffs of air even. But like on a certain level, I can acknowledge that it's humorous. I don't have to fucking sigh about it.
Let's have a look-see.
We're doing side quests today. There's some rather unsavory office gossip among Vern employees and associates about a returning CEO of Tausend. If it spreads any further and his name gets dragged through the mud, he may be pushed out again. Would you, and he will fucking kill himself this time. Would you be able to look into the rumors? I can provide more details if you come by the tunnel entrance. It's the down low. Also, we're not going to do the garden today, but I did finally remember to take the time and set up quartz. Basically, we're going to try and roll the same way we did earlier. You three doing physical damage and Altina kind of existing. We do have the rare young Guardian, though. I'm kind of, my plan was to give her the hollow core for longer S boosts so that she could stay S boosted and then just like perma Guardian people. We'll see how that works. I do like that at least you have to kind of slightly work for it now.
They're using some seriously,
because it was like a little ridiculous in the previous games where it was like hard not to get Guardian. Like it was so automatic. You Cohen, the Vern's CEO's secretary? We saw your post on the bulletin board. Indeed I am. You must be the group from Thor's military academy then. I've heard talk about you've been carrying out 4 SPGs in that sprig instead. Yeah, assuming you have no issue with that, may we hear the details of your request? It was in regard to negative rumors going around about Mr. Tausend, as I recall. Well, they weren't rumors, they were facts. We want you to suppress them. Correct. I actually think an outside party without any preconceptions will provide a more impartial perspective. I'm rather hesitant to divulge any details at HQ, hence why we're having this conversation out here in the middle of nowhere. Watch out, you may get pancaked by a delivery truck. I guess it'd be problematic if someone from the Vern Company overheard, huh? Yes, it's for that reason that I want you to investigate as confidentially as possible. I don't know, man. Is this where I get, like, told to slander people who have legitimate complaints about the CEO? I'm supposed to play defense on heinous allegations? I'm supposed to intimidate people who have blown the whistles on potential crimes, either personal or financial? Yeah, sure, whatever. You pay well enough. We accept. As it happens, we chatted briefly with Mr. Tausend earlier. Even knowing his indiscretion last year, he seemed nothing if not sincere about making up for it. A man like that is having his reputation tarnished. We can't just leave it unaddressed. I mean, it's tarnished for good reason. Much obliged. I'll feel more at ease with your assistance. Honestly, I can't remember if he actually did anything bad in particular, or if he was just kind of incompetent. Like, I don't remember... Did he have anything to do with, like, Quincy and funding racism? I feel like he was more, like, just not good at his job. Can't 100% remember. It'd be kind of a letdown if the rumors turn out to be true, though. He has a one-man shooting range of easy targets anyway. It doesn't seem like that big a deal, really. What exactly is the nature of these rumors? The CEO has come under 3 separate allegations, from what I've heard. 2 of them are even accompanied by photographs. And these photos are being spread too? How ruthless. Unless it actually did happen, in which, you know. But by the same token, it means there's actual physical evidence fueling the gossip. Yes, if possible, I'd like you to verify the photos for yourself to inform your verdict. Understood. We should look into that as well. First things first, let's try and get in touch with those who've heard the rumors. Yeah, I like to hear people's takes on them, not to mention what it is they're actually saying. Can I see the photos? Or do you not have them? If it's public reception we're looking for, then the wider the net we cast, the better. We should try asking a receptionist in that case. They come into contact with a good variety of personnel and information. It can also be a good idea to find someone from a Vern subsidiary too, or a divisional employee with corporate and departmental connections. Thank you again for going through all this effort. Do get in touch if you learn anything. Alright, can't say for sure how much it'll be. We'll see how far our outside perspective can take us to start.
Commencing proxy sprigging
Oh
work.
no, CEO! Oh yeah, the guy who was gonna end it all.
I see.
Is Daddy gonna be late again?
Yes, Daddy's gonna be late forever because he's never coming home. It's okay. He's bad or something. I don't know.
Yo, got a sec?
Yeah, I've heard the rumors. They've been circulating around the workshop and companies in our supplier network. Something about him having seedy underworld connections or whatnot? We're referring to the same Bill Tausend, correct? He doesn't really seem like the type somehow. Last I remember, he was so clueless about Armada that he missed them scurrying around right under his nose. Yeah, so he was just, yeah, it was more just incompetence. I don't suppose there's any proof. Well, there's this quote-unquote photographic evidence going around. See for yourself. That's just your home screen. Feels a little less underworldy and more underwhelming. The man in the sunglasses certainly meets the stereotypes of a criminal sort. Far from him, though, it doesn't seem all that condemning. Not to mention they're meeting in broad daylight. Yeah, I couldn't say what exactly, but there could easily be an innocent explanation behind this. Maybe they're married. Maybe, but you still got people buying into it, including some of the artisans you work with. Personally, I reserve the right to stay silent. You have to wonder where the story even came from, though. That's a good point. Knowing the source could change the context entirely. Setting that aside, who could have possibly taken this photograph? I mean, it did kind of seem like he was like looking back, like to see if they're getting the photograph. Provided this meeting was private, there are only so many who could have been present. True enough, which would mean someone involved snapped the picture with an ulterior motive. So of course, if they didn't meet in secret, then we can't be sure this wasn't a coincidental shot from an unrelated passerby. Either way, it feels malicious. Sure does. Someone went out of their way to create this evidence. Gotta keep that in mind while we think this through.
Got a second?
Rumors are going around Mr. Tausend has ties to people in the criminal underworld, photographic evidence included. Me? I'll refrain from comment. I'm not going to be around here too much longer anyway. Because I'm going on a business trip because I have a newfound love for my job. Nothing bad, nothing bad. Gourmet points. I ain't ever gotten a gourmet point in my life, partner.
I have something to ask you.
Oh yeah, where's the rumor mill's going wild over at Vern HQ? The ones going around the subsidiary I work at are based on some audio of the CEO's remarks? Not that anyone knows when or where it was actually recorded. Is that right? Would it be okay sharing it with us? Yeah, he's crying about some sort of ghost or something. This company belongs to me! Our subsidiaries are disposable. Haha, nice body on you! And there you have it. This recording's been a 3-for-1 fountain of gossip. Stuff like him misappropriating the company, or belittling his subsidiaries, or committing sexual harassment behind closed doors. I see. There's a lot of noise in it, though, to the point where it's tough to make out what he's saying. And even aside from that, something about it just felt off. The audio was choppy at points, in addition to the noise. There's a possibility it was edited to sound like this. Now that you mention it, the way the words flowed felt unnatural, too. That said, it does sound like Mr. Tausend. Let's be curious how the recording was made. What about the tone of his voice? It didn't sound like it's from a public meeting or anything. Odds are that someone who was there recorded him maliciously, but who? Well, that's the next question of a mystery photographer. Thanks for your input. I think we have a better grasp of the situation now. Oh, no worries. I'm glad I could help.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah, Reen's got a question for you. Audio that sparked them isn't exactly crystal clear. Chill. So that you do go by each other! You fucking were making me look like I get the fuck back. Ah, you lucky motherfuckers. I knew they coincided. I'm not crazy. Cause I was kind of like, did I really mistake the scooter for a car? No, they had synced up at one point. And from that angle, it maybe if you weren't looking at the screen very closely, it kind of looked like the dude was getting pushed by the car. Have I ever talked to you? This is the Jetpack Company's new drink. Next time you need an energy boost, just gulp them down and see the results. Alright, Crow. You gotta see. Do you want to commit? Or do you want to try and have a backup plan? It's up to you, buddy.
Excuse me a moment.
Because you can all in on the Amelia, and you know what? That's probably, in the long run, the best decision. But, you know, you might want to keep your options open. No, nothing's committed yet. She could be fucking with you. She's probably fucking with you. Yes, I did hear there were allegations against Mr. Tausend. New employees generally believe them, of course, but it still led to a loss of trust on some level. They're semi-convinced, in other words. If you don't mind my asking, were you yourself told any of these rumors directly? Yes, a colleague passed along this photo. Although I can't say where it originated from. Ooh, damn, old man's got game when he puts his mind to it. Maybe. Is that your only takeaway? This picture appears to show the CEO enjoying a night out with a young woman. Yeah, I mean, that's creepy. Potentially. But leading some staff to believe he's been caught in a honey trap and is leaking company secrets. Okay. That seems like a jump to conclusions, but naturally, I put no stock in this, but I am curious of the actual scene being depicted. Maybe he's practicing his stand-up comedy routine. There's definitely a sort of cheerfulness to it that comes off a little surprising. Even so, they're only conversing. I have to question whether any conclusions can be drawn from that. Then again, the thing is, we've met Tausend, and there's no way he's ever said anything that would make anyone laugh like that, so it does seem a little suspicious. It might take a lot more than this to stir these sorts of rumors. I get the sense that whoever spread them has a personal bone to pick with Mr. Tausend. Or maybe he's haunted. One way or another, it's too little to make a judgment call on. You can't say there's absolutely zero chance this thing is legit. Still, a third of this innocuous shouldn't be spreading rumors like wildfire. Yeah, it comes off a little forced to me. I want to consider the possibility that someone's fanning the flames on purpose. Right, let's keep that in mind when we keep mulling the other rumors over. Thank you for your time. Oh, not at all. Any disparagement against our CEO is just as much a concern of mine. I'm happy to have been of service. Okay, that about covers all three allegations against Mr. Tausend. Yes, I felt the evidence was either half-assed or inconclusive, which makes it all the stranger the rumors have spread this quickly. And even with only the flimsiest proof, some people are still believing it. Going about the photos look though, I think we can assume they weren't faked or taken accidentally. The recordings though did sound unnatural, but even then it was still his actual voice. Honestly speaking, if you consider everything we've learned as a whole, how to put this? It feels like Mr. Tausend is being framed here. Thinking about it from that angle explains a lot. Not hard to imagine. We just talk about how much of a walking kick-me sign he is. Well, not to be a bummer, but it's still just one theory out of who knows how many. Indeed, what we need is some corroboration. Alright, in that case, we should go get some from the CEO himself. Ooh, steering us right into the eye of the storm, eh? No better place to verify the truth of all this. Even if the rumors are legitimate, we'll probably need to sound out the situation anyhow. Good point, I'll give him a call so he knows we're coming. No, we gotta ambush him. He said he can spare some time, so we're welcome to stop by. We can find him over at the Institute of Science. I don't want to go there. I'm doing side quests. Off we go then. Well, fine. Again, just making sure the buttons work.
Let's head off.
Well, I guess we're gonna get just a whiff of, oh my god, you're over here at the main story, brother. You're gonna make me proc all my red arrows and there's gonna be another cutscene. You fucked me. Whatever. We have obtained the necessary data, correct? Indeed, and based on that, I shall be making further adjustments to the airframe and external units. It means I'll need to return to Zeku Space Base as planned. Understood. Safe travels, then. It's you. Well done during today's exercise. We managed to obtain some excellent data. I think we saw each other at the get-together briefly. If I could, I'd like to take this chance to say hello properly, Professor Cronkite. And thank you for your part in the exercise. I hear our mint may have been a little pest during the event. It's nothing to concern yourselves with. We both did what we had to increase the probability of success. I couldn't help but overhear, Professor, you're heading back to Zeku Space Base? Yes, I intend to travel with Major Amelia and the others by airship. I won't be able to enjoy this town's coffee for a while, but we all must make sacrifices. There is still so much that needs to be done. Adjustments to the machine, analysis of the satellite data. I heard he was taking on the majority of the technological and operational aspects of Project Startaker. No surprise it's keeping him busy. Tina, it's really hard for you to whisper when you're that far down. I don't think the least bit fatigue. He really is a genius. We won't take any more of your time. We just want to say thank you. What about you? Heading back to the base with the Professor? Nah, I intend to stay with Basel for a while. Bro. Avoiding us, man. He doesn't want to go back. I mean, I guess that's not the capital, but... he knows we're not going to Basel, so... Van, that is. Everything at the space base is on track. Because, I mean, Van and them, I assume we'll go to Longlai eventually, right? Well, actually, I don't know. I mean, we gotta be there for the launch, right? I would be surprised if we're not at the launch in person. Not, like, super surprised, but, like, slightly surprised. Because it's been a while since we've gone to Longlai. There are some things here in Basel that require my attention. Something that requires his attention? Here? Now? I see. Sounds like you're busy too. We should probably leave you to it then, shouldn't we? Thank you for understanding. The fewer distractions, the better. Just can't help with the snide remarks, can you? It won't be long until you're used to it. Now, I've already told you what I'm doing. If there's nothing else, I suggest making the most of your time and touring the campus. That's just what we were planning. Thanks for your consideration. You take care as well, Professor. Of course, I had no intention of doing otherwise, but I accept your well wishes. I acquired significantly better data than expected from that exercise. You have my gratitude, Thors. When I return to the base, I must provide feedback to Excalibur. As I previously notified you, you've all been invited to the ceremony in the capital the day after tomorrow. As long as you get there on time, you'll have unrestricted access. Wait, day after tomorrow? Wait, because it's still the 10th. Oh man, that fucks me. I'm not going to be in Longlai then. You can freely explore as much as you like. I don't want to be there. I don't want to watch it on the damn screen. I want to see it in person. Well, maybe not Reen. Reen might have PTSD. Maybe Reen might have secret PTSD from seeing somebody fly into space, but I'm sure you're all exhausted, so do try and get some rest. I thought we were going to Edith tomorrow, which would then give us a chance to go to, you know, hop on over to Longlie. Get us a special, you know, first row seat, or front row seat.
The Basel Institute of Science. I feel like there's a lot I can learn here.
Yeah, there's no question this is the finest academy Calvard has to offer.
Can't help but imagine what campus life would have been like here.
Oh, really boring.
Then shall we look around? We can wait to go see the stars until after it
Because
gets
the
dark.
people here probably, like, mostly worked for it. Not like Thor's, where everyone's, like, rich and they can't fail. So they can fuck off all the time. Unless you're Reen. Reen was hustling. Doing all them requests and whatnot. Everyone else, I'm not sure they did anything.
Be sure to eat a balanced diet, you hear?
I'm just gonna sneak right past. I'm just gonna have a nice, casual, non-story talk. Just a nice, casual, non-story talk. Fuck! My goodness, I have my own reservations about Mr. Tausend's reinstatement. But as I understand it, everything seems to be going smoothly. You have my support. Thank you so much! I am ashamed to have caused you trouble last year, Your Highness. I'll never make the same mistake again. I will dedicate myself to this company. Well, you did do a lot of dubious things last year. There's no denying your skill in bringing together various industries over the years. Your courage is sure to lead Vern in the right direction. Indeed. I'll be counting on you now, Tausend. Tausend, you're lucky. I can't remember if I think you're deserved to be reinstated or not. You're lucky you're such a minor character. I don't remember what the fuck you did. There's more to discuss, but it appears we have some guests. Ah, it's all of you. Alright, looks like you're in the middle of something. We didn't mean to interrupt. It's no problem at all. We've already finished the complicated business. If you like, why don't you join us? Yeah, fuck you, Crow. Oh, Crow, you don't want to... Because there's a seat there. You just don't want to sit next to the prince? Alright, I see how it is. Hey, sounds like there's a lot of strong opinions about Tausend's return as CEO back in Elsum. It can't be helped. They've invested quite a lot, after all. That said, it feels like more and more people are willing to give me a second chance. Considering your achievements and the sincerity you displayed since your return, it's hard not to see why. I've had a talk with him myself. It's convinced me that he's the right man for the job. I'm sure of it. I intend to encourage my father to give him his support as well. That's a lot more generous than I'd expect. Well, Professor Hamilton made the request. Seeing as how much he's done for our nation, we can't just ignore what she says. Even the professor supported my return. I fear I'll never be able to return the favor. Not like she'd ever abandon you, given her humanity and moral obligations. It sounds like everyone really loves and trusts the professor. He definitely has a different style from Professor Schmidt and the others, obvious as it is. Certainly special among Epstein's disciples. Has a philosophy of getting close to people and supporting them all equally. That's the cornerstone of all her research. And no matter how much times change, her self-sacrificing nature never does. It isn't just whole countries indebted to her, but entire generations. I was lucky enough to work with her long ago on a variety of projects. And each time I've seen the problems of the people, I've recognized that she was truly saving them. While I haven't gotten to join her in the eastern part of the continent, I'm sure they're even more grateful to her. Even in Elsum, our appreciation for her is deep in our roots. For years, Professor has been the intermediary between Elsum and the Republic when it comes to sharing technological advancements. Sure, we owe a lot to our mineral resources, but the development of our nation can be traced back to her influence. I think it's easier for us to feel close to her since she's half Central Eastern. Maybe. I worked with the professor on behalf of the ICO, and it seems like she's loved throughout the Central East, not just in Elsum. Ah, don't forget her undiscriminating love for all. People everywhere feel a strong bond with the professor. You guys are glazing her way too fucking hard. Even if we hadn't done the Kevin thing, I would be feeling a little suspicious. Even after the Foundation, everyone talks about her character and achievements. There's really so much more than I've been led to believe back in the Empire. You know, all of the big mistakes I made while she was away. It really was a huge help as a consultant to the Vern Company. Basically, I'm useless. She just wants me here as a puppet. But I can't lean on her any longer. I have to guide the Vern Company forward with my own two hands. You know, this is just another reminder of the professor's character. Yeah, I wish I could have talked with her more. If you're staying in the Republic, then you may get another chance. For now, would you like to take a look inside the Institute? Yes, we would. We should still be open for a little while yet, so feel free to take a look around. If you're running any problems, let me know. Thank you again for your help. Sorry we interrupted. We'll make sure to enjoy a tour of the campus. Nope. Fuck you. You're not allowed to explore. That's the bell from the chapel in the artisanal district. 6:30 p.m. now, so I'm guessing that's to let people know it's time for the evening service. Probably, yeah. Also, damn, sunset already. Thought I'd come a little later given it's summer and all. Okay, I think we've seen all there is to see here, so we should probably move on to the next thing. I ain't even started, guys. Why is there only one exclamation point in the Institute? When we're ready, let's make our way to the observatory. Aw, man. Alright, buddy. Be honest. Reen grilled him. I understand you have something new to discuss, members of the Oris Military Academy. Yes, thank you for your time. You see, we're hoping to get your assistance with the request we've undertaken. Ah, is that right? I'll help to whatever extent I can, then. What is you wish to ask? Our client wants us to investigate some wild rumors going around. Hear anything about a scandal rocking the Vern Company right about now? Any chance? You mean to say there is one? If so, I'll have to deal with it post-haste. This is the first he's heard of it, evidently. Doesn't seem like he thinks it could apply to him in either way. Wow, he really has no idea, does he? Better go down to brass tacks, then. I'll be blunt, Mr. Tausend. The rumors are looking into it regarding you. They include some audio and photographic evidence. We'd like you to fact-check if that's alright. Ah! That damn ghost! It's after me again. What about me? I don't believe I've done anything wrong, though. Please tell me more. I will try with all sincerity to explain myself however I'm able. Alright, Tausend, you practice this. Say the words of power. I do not recall. There's this picture of you speaking with a young woman. Ah, her! Well, she was a job hunting student that I interviewed recently. A job hunting student? Is that like a rumor loving student? Yeah, she came a long way from the countryside for our appointment, after which she did some sightseeing in town. Bro, it's fucked up. She basically did the boomer equivalent of walk up to the CEO and shake their hand and ask for a job. That's crazy. This photo must be of when I chanced upon her in town and said hello and offered her some encouragement. Who in the world would take a photo of that, and why? That's not as juicy as I was gearing up for. Feels way more on brand, though. This guy and Lady Killer don't exactly go hand in hand. You're the one that said he had game. You guys! What about this photo? It seems to be giving some impression that you have connections to the underworld. Ah, that's Dave! This person is the executive director of Trading Company. We've known each other for a long time now. His eyes are rather sensitive, so he often wears sunglasses on the days the sun is particularly bright. As it happens, everyone in the sales department of our headquarters knows him, so you're welcome to speak with them if you have any doubts. Alright, good save, good save. What about this recording? This company belongs to me. Our subsidiaries are disposable. Haha, nice body on you. What is this? It certainly sounds like me, but I don't recall saying anything of the sort. There are indications the audio is deliberately spliced. Do you recall any remarks you've made that could have been edited together in this way? This company belongs to me? That bit does bring something to mind. It was during a private conversation between Cohen and myself not too long ago. If memory serves, I said something along the lines of, "This company is my life, so to speak. All responsibility for it belongs to me. Our subsidiaries are to be handled with careful consideration. We must first dispose of their concerns in an orderly, dependable manner." Haha, nice work, but you mustn't overstrain yourself. It'll be nothing if your body gives out on you. There's no way you would remember that word for word. I don't fucking buy you. Or buy it. He's guilty. Dead to rights. Assuming you recall correctly, big assumption, then it's definitely plausible those soundbites are clipped from that conversation. You were talking 101 when it was recorded? Well, I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Why would he send us to... Did he think we're fucking stupid? I mean, that wouldn't be the first time in the series where the person who did the bad thing hires us for some reason, and then we prove they did the bad thing, and they're like, what? It's all coming together. Should have figured as much. This seems like a setup from start to finish. What do you want to do now, Reen? Well, we've come this far. I think it only makes sense to lay it all bare to the man himself and get his cooperation. Won't be easy to discuss, and from what the circumstances suggest... You are investigating a Cohen's request, then? Risk of escalating him, I'm inclined to ask you to get to the bottom of these baseless hoaxes myself. Of course, we may just see Spriggans by proxy, but we'll give it our all. Not that we don't have a grasp of what's already going on here. He knows pinpointing who's behind it all. The perpetrator had to be capable of procuring those photos in that recording, as well as propagating word of them within the company. And what's more, potentially stand to gain from framing Mr. Tausend. Here then, the suspects, the only one who can spread this information can only be... It doesn't make any sense to me, but he's the only person we know, so... None other than Cohen, your secretary and our client. He was in a position to prepare the photos and audio by himself. How can that possibly be? It's true he's present every occasion, but... Is he fucking stupid? Why would he invite Master Sleuth to look into it? This is only conjecture based on the circumstantial evidence, of course, and the likelihood is high. Maybe he just like really thinks Van's a dumbass and thought Van would be the one to accept the case. But then that wouldn't, because he would have been like, oh no, never mind. Actually, you guys don't need to take the case on. Didn't he hire you to investigate these false accusations, though? Actually, that's what stuck out to me from the get-go. He asked us to investigate the rumors themselves, but not their source. He didn't say a word about putting a stop to him either. If anything, it sounded like what he sought from us was verification. Did it? Because that is not what we were trying to do, so apparently he did not do a good job. Following that train of thought, maybe his aim was to have us confirm the rumors as unbiased outsiders? That way we'd help solidify and spread them even further? I mean, it just seems like kind of a stupid decision. Seems like way too risky. You know, you wouldn't hire professional fixers in that case. You'd hire, like, you know, some mooks to, you know, confirm your biases. Roundabout doesn't even begin to describe that. Had we taken the bait, it could have been the final nail in the coffin. Holmes was appointed by Director Durek, a member of our board who took over as CEO during my dismissal. He's proven highly capable, but we haven't been acquainted for very long, so there's much I don't know on a personal level. Okay, that was another thing, is I didn't really know how that's going to help him. If anything, if he's just the secretary, getting Tausend fired would be bad for him. Do you object to me calling for him right now? Must learn whether he is truly the culprit, and if so, what his motivations are. Those are the things I ought to hear from the man's own mouth. I understand. Go ahead and call him over. Let's relay the results of our investigation to him anyway. send him to prison and make him pay me? I mean, granted, I don't, well, I feel like you'd, yeah, I mean, he's kind of rich. You could pursue a criminal case here, I think. It would probably realistically be more of like a civil thing, I feel, but... You ready to report on the request? I didn't realize the CEO himself would be present for it. Let me begin with a rundown of what we uncovered during the course of our investigation. You're probably wondering why I've gathered you here. Green and the group informed Koan in detail, making sure to express that they had clearly been disseminated with malicious intent. In short, you've concluded that Mr. Tausend is free from fault. Very well, I'll continue digging into the rumors myself and see if I can't determine their origin. That's quite enough, Cohen. All I want to know is, was this your doing? That's it. You managed to figure me out. I bet the third party would be quickly deceived, but evidently that wasn't the case. Bro, look at Reen. Look at his glasses. You really think a motherfucker like that's gonna be deceived? You should have immediately been like, oh no, these guys look way too competent. Oh, actually, I forgot my wallet. I won't be able to pay you guys. So, sorry, I just got to have to withdraw the request. That would have been a better twist. If it was like, he sees us and then he's like, actually, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't look into this. Maybe I'm just a little paranoid. You know what? Don't bother. And then Reen and them were like really insistent about it. Like, no, we'll definitely look into this. This is important. It's for the future of the Vern Company. Tausend's had a hard time. We don't want to make sure anything bad happens to him unfairly. And then he's like, no, really, it's not that big a deal. It'll blow over. There's no reason to waste your time. That would be better than him just being stupid. Now that I'm caught, there's nothing to be done. I'll resign myself to whatever punishment you deem sufficient. Just as we thought. This really was a ploy to push your smear campaign. Why? What could drive such an outstanding secretary like you to do such a thing? We're well past the point of words by now. But I'll tell you this much. I only acted with the good of the company in mind. Good of the company? This is the most I can say. Is that because you're trying to protect someone else who's also a part of this? I'm trying to think of it. He was appointed by the previous CEO, right? You put two and two together. Bullseye. Be sure with this here. Was he the guy who put you up to this? As I already said, I acted with the good of the company in mind. Full stop. He didn't ever deny it, which is a near surefire sign Durek is involved. I just couldn't accept the idea of entrusting the Vern Company to you again, Tausend. I mean, that's fair, honestly. In focusing solely on profits and gains, you failed to prevent what happened to Professor Callahan or manage the litigations within our affiliates. The reinstatement of CEO not only defies all sense, it robs the company of the opportunity to change. Mr. Durek should be in your place instead, steering us toward reform. I acknowledge that I've yet to fully earn your trust, just as I acknowledge my past transgressions. However, it's all the more reason why I must make amends with my own two hands. It is towards that aim that I resume my position. Yeah, but those are just pretty words, honestly. I'm well aware of Durek's capabilities, as well as the reliance so many employees take place in him. But even still, I refuse to capitulate. Not to a man who stooped to reclaiming power through vile mudslinging. That is fair, actually. I'll give you that one. Just how genuine is that determination? I pledge not only to rise up on the backs of my past failings, but to achieve results that more than outweigh them. In this way, I'll strive to become a man worthy of confidence, yours and Durek's both. You needn't place your faith in me on the spot. All I ask for now is that you give me the chance. At least until such time that I can repay this company in the way I am able. I don't know, man. I feel like you should be demoted at least. You could be like vice president of like a division or something. And, you know, if you start doing good work there, then maybe we can talk about making you CEO again. You really have changed. Compared to you, Director Durek and I... Go and wait in the other room for now. I'll inform you of the consequences of your actions are decided. Allow me to express my gratitude once again. It's because of you that these malicious rumors have been stemmed. That being said, I'll have to fix whatever foibles of mine allowed this to occur without me noticing. What about the turncoat? You gotta give him the boot at the very least. That wouldn't be the end of it, though, if it turns out the previous CEO really is involved to any extent. Quite so. You! Not Van. What would you have me do? Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. I'm an important executive man who makes his own decisions. Tell me what to do. If you don't mind, may I ask for suggestions on how to approach this? I don't know. You're not really making a good case. You don't know what the fuck's going on in your company. Apparently the rumors are spreading like wildfire. You had no inclination of it whatsoever. And now you can't even make your own decision? When that's like supposed to be the one thing you exist for? Arcade Solutions often provides consultations of this nature after completing their jobs, I understand. You want our advice? I don't know, make your own decision. Alright, it's not my area of expertise, but I'll try and come up with something. What kind of middle ground would Arcade propose in this situation? What would Arcade do? Corner the ex-CEO of a board meeting? Nah. Blackmail? Nah. Take him to court? I don't like any of these. I'm leaning towards corner. It's definitely not blackmail. Not blackmail. Take him to court? I mean, you could. At least the secretary. I don't know. Proving the... Unless the secretary were to rat on the ex-CEO, I feel like you kind of have a hard time making the connection there, and it might seem a little desperate. I guess we'll go with the middle one. Actually, just about good enough, I think. Proper course to take the issue to court, but that would also mean exposing the company's weakness to the world at large. A happy medium could be put in on the agenda at a board meeting and sorted out privately instead. That may be as far as saving face is concerned. However, doing so would sow discord within the board of directors itself. I still have our operational stability to consider, factional tensions to keep in check. But on the other hand, this could be your big break. Set that meeting in writing, you can gain some solid ground out of this ordeal. Yeah, even if the board ultimately decides to punish these wrongdoings publicly, if all goes well, you may be able to research your place at the helm of the company. When you put it that way, I can certainly see how it might lead to a more corporate unity. But, is this truly within my capabilities? No, hesitating at this juncture would strip my reinstatement of all meaning. Very well, for the sake of pulling this company back together, I'll have this matter addressed internally. Hideous above, to think they'd resort to character assassination to try and force some resignation. I mean, they didn't even have to, they could have just used some of the shit I've actually done instead of making things up. If it weren't for all of you, I might not even have noticed. Yeah, that's not a good point in your favor. Think nothing of it. We were just carrying out our proxy work as best we could. Sure, Arkwright and his team would have found a better way to resolve this. No need to be modest. You prevented a satisfactory compromise, which I have no complaint. Yeah, because the blackmail one, I think... Because that's one of the things where, I'll admit, I could see Van suggesting blackmail. I could not see Reen suggesting blackmail. So, as much as I joke about Van being the goodiest two shoes, I could see him suggesting it. I don't see Reen suggesting it. So that's like a hard option to pick. As for your payment, expect a transfer from my end. I Thanks. If you really want to do us a favor, try being less of a sitting duck from now on. Yeah, maybe cover a few of those easy targets panned all over you. Guys, shush! Honest to a fault as ever. That's quite alright. It is a fact that my vulnerabilities in flight exploitation, as evidenced by today. As such, I intend to consider this a lesson learned. A call for me to shape up and run this company with grit and resolve. And since debacle was simply a trial of sorts, a chance for me to make a fresh start. Well, it's been a privilege helping you weather it. I don't mean to sound too forward, but now that you have our support, I'll meet you in the middle. I'm not rooting for your downfall, I don't think. Depends on what you actually did in the first game that I can't remember. I can't remember how involved you were with the Almada stuff. I'm not rooting for your downfall, but I'm not rooting for your success. And you mind, members of Thor's Military Academy, and all your future endeavors. Thus did Tausend turn an unfortunate setback into an opportunity to recommit to his chosen course. He then returned to his work with a sense of pride and purpose both.
Looks like our work here is done.
Sense of pride and accomplishment, some might say. Oh shit, look at all them gray points. Yeah. Keep law down there. Keep it down in the fucking gutter.
That's Professor Cronkite.
What's over here?
Plain as day.
Oh, is this our garden thing?
Our reward's been deposited.
So this wasn't a side quest. It's kind of weird because the other one in the other district doesn't have a side quest marker. We got a little bit of time and nothing really to do, so we could, I guess we can pop back in even though we kind of already watched it. We already saw the thing with the ring. I'm not going to do the garden now, but we saw the thing with Ren already. We received all of her costumes. Like, is there actually something here? Well, there's chatting, but you guys made it sound like it was a side quest. We can do our chats in here real quick. That'll round out the video. Alright, I think I got the gist of the situation. Thanks for sharing, especially given there's not much we can actually tell each other. Yes, well, certainly an unfortunate symptom of our circumstances. After all, it doesn't seem any of the parties present are at liberty to speak of their situations at the moment. Ah, well, no use in getting all bummed out about it, yeah? Anyway, I heard Boz was beautiful this time of year. You guys having a bump into Professor Hamilton while you were there? Yeah, actually, but she seemed to be kind of busy with something. We parted ways almost as soon as we met. We didn't exactly ask where she was headed, but it definitely seemed she had a lot on her shoulders. Interesting. Would love to meet the woman someday. Yeah, I'd love to meet her. Maybe have a little bit of dinner with her. Dinner with some extra salt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where she ran off to, huh? Guess that means in for the long game. Kevin doing the side eye while plotting to murder someone is really funny. Kevin's team is in Tharbad, are they? I believe Arya should be there by now as well, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know who that is. Oh, no, that's the student girl. Yeah, okay. I heard the city owes much of its prosperity to the Orbital film industry. But they only just now got a movie theater. Really makes you think. Tharbad, Edith, Basel, sounds like a little groups here spread across the entire Republic. With objectives just as wide-ranging too. There's still room for some collaborating though. Well, yeah, I see it. So what do you say, a little Q&A sesh, friend? I can't talk to Elaine? There's a force field around Elaine? Field's taking an interest in the Thor's alumni in Grosswater lately. I wonder if that means working together is off the table. Really, it should be Kevin trying to track down Catra. Hey, what can you tell about your grandma? Hey, your grandma's a pretty amazing
How about
lady.
a
What can you
short
tell me about her? What are her favorite locations? What are her biggest weaknesses? Warm and relaxing, just like I knew it'd be. Well, you're right. I can't help but feeling like we're losing the plot a little. It's kind of embarrassing to be wearing a swimsuit here in front of everyone. I mean, it's just pretend it's the beach. The juxtaposition between here and real life can seem a bit strange. It's important we take breaks when we can swim. Let's forget our troubles for the moment, yes? Perhaps with some water polo? Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's a Rin noticing someone's acting a little off. I guess that means, so is Rin, are you the only character to show up in all VR situations? You know, counting Phantasma, because it's, I mean, technically not VR, but like same basic vibe. Being in like a phase space. No, because then he wasn't in the last game, I don't think, and, well, actually, maybe he was. I don't remember if he was a gardener, but he definitely wasn't in Reverie because he was dead. They had forgotten he existed. Yeah, I guess it's just Rin. I wonder why is this guy Aggie looking so down, though? Me too, though considering we can't say much about the situation we're dealing with either, it's probably best we don't ask. I mean, really, the only people who shouldn't say anything are Kevin, because they're committing, you know, they're planning on committing a crime. There's no reason that the other people can't talk about what they're doing. I'm glad to hear those two managed to reunite with Rufus recently, and with little incidents to boot. Though it is interesting that Kevin seems to be working with their group now. But I digress. What matters now is resting up while we still can for Anya's sake and everyone else's. Been a while since I've seen Swin and Nadia. Maybe I'll catch up with them on what's been going on at Aramis. Getting to kick back in a hot spring without worrying about a time limit? Oh, if only I could live here forever. Why? It's not like you don't kick back in real life, too. You'll laser around practically anywhere. Damn it. I know I was the one who chose to get myself involved in all this, but it's really heating up my nerves. I could talk to Van about it. And Katra. Yeah, you probably shouldn't talk to Katra about it, no offense.
Can't beat this.
Oh, now this is the life.
There's some dudes getting wet.
It's so warm. Feels like I'm melting away.
And they actually dissolve.
A fresh start.
These are fun, man. I'm glad they brought back the little Reverie chats. The Rufus fan tells me you're the former Governor General Crossbell and that you're supposed to be dead. Funnily enough, I actually considered intervening in the situation over there myself 2 years ago, as Grimcat, of course. Tell the truth, plenty of Jaeger groups had you in their sights too. Yes, well, though the incident in question was largely brought about my imposter, you know, that makes me think what they should have fucking done. I can't blame them because Judith's character probably hadn't really been envisioned yet. But instead of Ilya getting a mask on and for some reason becoming as strong as Riksha, which was fucking silly and stupid, it could be that Judith gets a mask and is mind controlled and is the one who ends up fighting Riksha there. And it ends up being like a little setup for her character in the Daybreak games. Since, you know, they knew each other previously, so there's like some bit of a connection there. I mean, well, I don't think it'd be like a crazy good, but it'd be better than the Ilya stuff, which was just very silly. Yes, well, though the incident in question was largely brought about by my imposter, I acknowledge that much of the blame lies at my feet as well. As such, I'd like you all to decide whether you find me trustworthy enough to fight by your side. If not, I'll willingly accept imprisonment. Don't think we need to go that far. I mean, I've seen how much Swin and Nadia look up to you, and they call you their boss for a reason. Yeah, plus it ain't exactly like our group's full of the most straight-laced goody two-shoes in the Republic. Anya's goody two-shoes. Fairy, pretty much a goody two-shoes. Aaron, yeah, nothing really. Pretty much a goody two-shoes, other than just, you know, occasionally mouse off. Rosette, Rosette would kill a motherfucker, for sure. Regard probably killed people, but only for good. Maybe. That 75% of the murders are for good. Judith, pretty much a goody two-shoes. Elaine, ultimate goody two-shoes. Van, mostly goody two-shoes, as previously said. By the way, and Catra, Omega goody two-shoes, except for that time he killed us all. By the way, I know we've talked about this before, but seriously, if you want to take up 4 SPGs for us in the real world, feel free. In exchange, I'm going to ask you to share all the secrets you pick up along the way with me and my team. That sounds reasonable enough, as long as it doesn't interfere with our plans, of course. Try as I might, many still view me as the most notorious villain of the century. Well, nevertheless, I hope we'll be able to work well during our time together. Without getting in one another, literally nobody views you as a villain. I'm the only motherfucker who thinks Rufus is still a villain. We could resurrect Aryan Road's ghost and she'd forgive him. Which, granted, that would actually be kind of in character, but... ain't nothing more Spriggan-like than teaming up with the Walking Dead and the former Governor General of Crossbow. That's besides the point. I'll be counting on you out there, Schwarzer. Yeah, likewise. I know the ex-Governor General guy was marked for elimination by a bunch of different corps, but I don't sense any ill will in him. That's because he's got no emotions, Fairy. Well, since we're gonna be spending more time together, maybe I'll take the chance to learn what I can from him. Like how he got to be so cunning. Maybe that's not the kind of thing you should be learning. I don't really feel the need to be too on guard around the guy, especially not how close he is to Swin and Nadia. But it might be nice to get a look at how strong our reformed villain friend is anyway, you know? Something about this new body of yours seems remarkably familiar, because it's like almost exactly the same. That's because it's one of your creations. He's the most amazing masterpiece yet, if I do say so myself, and that's because everything I eat in this body is filled with about 10 times the flavor. That's really amazing. I'd love to hear the story of how you even ended up in Marduk, though. I mean, seeing as we were having such a hard time tracking the guy down. Apologies, but as Mr. Rosenberg and I are in different divisions, I'm afraid I'm as much of a loss on the circumstances of his joining as you are. Okay, so he's actually... I thought he just kind of worked with them. I didn't realize he was actually hired by Marduk. This really is a product of Marduk. It's using the same prosthetic devices as yours does, Rosette. A body with capabilities like these could prove a useful asset for furthering my drone research, I imagine, if I was allowed to collect the data. Yo, we got a load of Novaris here. That would be fine by me. But remember, Rosenberg dolls are beings both noble and elegant, Catra. If you would like to study me, you'll have to handle me with the utmost care. How many points does Catra get? I feel like Catra would get a ton of points. I feel like things were kind of awkward with Kevin's team earlier, but... maybe I was just imagining things? They don't want to kill my grandmother, do they? This Rosenberg's new body is quite stunning. I suppose I should have expected as much, given the wreck craftsman responsible. Admittedly, I'm a bit curious as to why he transferred to Marduk myself. Kevin's team was acting a little strange earlier. Am I just imagining things? Oh right, I'm not supposed to talk to Catra about Professor Hamilton, am I? Okay, act normal, Lapis. We'll get through this. Yeah, I don't know if I trust Lapis to not blab. That's probably like Kevin like literally is internally screaming when it comes out that we can casually chat with each other here. Because he knows Lapis cannot be trusted. In that regard. Not like in a malicious sense, but like she would totally be like casually drop. Oh yeah, after we kill your grandmother. I mean, we made a lot of progress in prosthetics research at the Epstein Foundation recently, particularly since the crossbow incident. However, the level of technical skill involved in Lapis' new body is a class of its own. Maester Jorg and Marduk have outdone themselves. Jorg Rosenberg's the doll maker who used to be part of the Society's 13 factories. I was able to keep tabs on him for a bit through his connections to Ren and Lapis, but wasn't aware the guy ended up at Marduk of all places. There really is no telling what that place will do next, is there? I need to keep an extra eye on them going forward. And then check out the campsite. Fucked up, I can't look at my drones, man. Are these your bikes? Oh, hey! See, the thing is, we were talking about our babies earlier and had us wondering if we could load their data into the garden. Can, turns out. Now, that also means I wonder if I load in my magazines into the garden, if I could... Fascinating. Though they're the same Etois models, their tuners afforded them vastly different capabilities. Man, this looking at makes me want one of my own. Think about grabbing the new Red Star, actually. Be gone, heretic! This is an Etois campfire. Red Starians can go fuck off. If you're interested, I believe I have a few magazines that speak on next year's models. Honestly, I doubt I'll be needing them anytime soon. That sentence could take a dark turn. I've grown much too fond of my current bike to trade her in. Hey, no rule says you can only have one, you know? Honestly, I ever say with the Mira, I might just looking to get myself another. Because the joke there is that he's like, I don't need the magazine about future models because I'm gonna be fucking dead. Because I'm old as dirt. Because, you know, if you factor in the childhood mortality rate of 50% of all kids working in the mines in Zemuria, the average life expectancy is like 33. So he's really beyond the curve. Leave it to bike talks to get me all pumped up, I swear. Should probably cool it off or Toa gets on my case, though. Damn, if only I could bring George and Jellica to the garden, too. Oh, thank God you can't. Well, it'd be nice to like bikes over a few drinks again, you know? Don't remind me. And bikes are the freaking best. I'd have one of my own eventually, just a matter of what kind. I might even think about grabbing one of those Renford models. I'm gonna say, so if you can just load in random data, there has to be a gag where Crow loads in a bunch of women from his horny mags. Though they're both Etois models, their tuning has rendered them vastly different bikes. I'd love to join Crow on a road trip someday. Perhaps even Aaron could tag along as well. Alright. Let's, can we do this yet? No? Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. We will maybe do the Marduk. I don't know. Because there was that whole line about, like,
That's Professor Cronkite.
we don't necessarily have to do it right now. And depending on who our other party members are, because if it's, you know, obviously if it's Shizuna, I'm not going to use her. But depending on the other mystery party member, I could maybe want to use them. But we'll see. I'm actually Choosy87, send you for the next part, and bye guys.